Good morning. Well, one thing about February and March is their days tend to line up. And so once again, it's Friday the 13th. Actually, just as an aside, in case you didn't know, that superstition actually came from the Last Supper, where ostensibly, and we know there were more people than just the inner circle, the 12 and Jesus, but nevertheless, 13 because Judas made up the 13th, apparently. So, anyway, just moving on. And our reading, having nothing to do with any of that, is from 1 John 4:17. By this love perfected with us, so that we may have confidence for the day of judgment, because as he is, so also are we in this world. As believers, we don't have to fear God's wrath and God's judgment because that already fell on Christ for us. And so, as he is righteous, so are we in this world being seen through his righteousness. Our sins have been paid for. And it's important to remember not just the past tense, but those sins we haven't committed yet. And if you're alive and breathing, like me, chances are you're still going to sin. While we don't have to because we're no longer slaves to sin, but to righteousness, we still blow it. Let's face it. But Christ has already paid for that. So, in the legal sense, the biblical legal sense, all our sins up to the point where we go home to be with Him are stamped, paid, which, of course, doesn't give us permission to voluntarily choose to sin. But anyway, so we look forward to that day when we will appear before the Bema seat and receive the rewards for our obedience and service to Him. So the question is, are you living our lives in a way that will cause Him to say, well done, good and faithful servant? Are we living in a way that's building our 501ks, that is, our treasures in heaven? Are we living on a daily basis as we're called to live to believers or as believers in a fallen world? I pray so. I pray that I do, and I pray that you do. So, keeping that in mind, even though it's Friday and we're going into the weekend, for us, in terms of our calling as ambassadors, that's available and should be carried out every waking moment. So I'll see you tomorrow on the weekend and have a great one. Bye.